Okay, so I just finished Neurofeedback. This was the second session in a row. So I went last Tuesday, went today, and this was the second session. We did the very first thing that I ever did with Neurofeedback, that first area, the front of like right here on my forehead and then earlobes. And so this was the first time ever in Neurofeedback, and I started back in late October of last year. And I think it's been 45 sessions total. This was the first time I ever got all the way through an episode. I watched the entirety of a Flintstones episode, and it actually started back around at the beginning and looped back toward the beginning credits. So that was really cool, because that means that in that 30-minute stint of time, I was able to get calm fast enough that the levels weren't all over the place with anxiety during it. Not a ton of intrusive thoughts that continued to like be pervasive throughout, and I was able to have that sense of peace and calm throughout to actually just keep the show playing. So I'm incredibly proud of myself. It was the lowest I'd ever been as far as the anxiety marker is concerned, so that's a huge win. Very proud of that. And I told Steve, I was like, I think like with Andrew's grandpa passing away, we just had his funeral yesterday. I was asked to sing at the funeral, and it was my dad's favorite song that they wanted me to sing. And so it was an emotional day, and it was, emotionally taxing. And so oftentimes that can kind of like throw one's nervous system and vagus nerve into dysregulation and, make it hard. But also, like a couple weeks back, my grandma that I'm named after passed away, and there's not a funeral for her, so it's like I'm at the end of the month going to Ohio to try to, just spend some time with my family and have some sort of communal grieving together over it to have some sort of closure, But anyway, even with all that going on, I was able to do this, and I'm really proud of myself. All of the hard work and the dedication to going and doing this and doing my talk therapy, psychotherapy, drama therapy with Anna, beginning EMDR with Cheryl, and taking Steve's advice, and even though it was really hard to begin with, doing my 5 minutes a day of sit, eyes closed, and just exist, and that finding that sense of calm and peace and surrender and letting go, and whatever thought passes by, thinking them as like the thoughts and the emotions and everything that's coming up, those are clouds passing by. They don't define me. I don't need to reach out, grab it, and hold on to it and let it spiral into something, right? Worry and stress about situations that are out of my control anyway, that I'm not glomming onto and identifying myself with those and hanging on to them and letting it become stuck energy. I'm letting it, I'm being an observer of it, right? I'm interested in that. Okay, that is something interesting, but then it gets to pass on by, right? I've been envisioning it in that time, that 5 minute time span. I think I said as much last time, where I'm envisioning this big water lily that's like open in the middle on a lily pad in the water, and whatever that thought is, or that worry, or that concern, or that thing that's nagging at me, that's keeping me from being in the present in that 5 minute span of like meditative time, I envision taking that thought or emotion or whatever, setting it on the water lily, and like with love and acknowledgement, pushing it out onto the water so that it can float away. So the cumulative element of doing that 5 minutes every day, especially like I said, in the beginning of doing that, I was so hesitant to do it, and it definitely was not a daily thing for me. I would keep myself super busy and keep pushing it off and not do it because it was uncomfortable. It was an uncomfortable thing to do, because when I was sat there quietly, my mind would race, and when I kept myself super busy and procrastinated on doing it, it was something that I could push to the side, right? But the dedication that I've shown to it, and that plus the cumulative effort of going on like a daily walk. Oftentimes that's the exercise for the day is like a 2+ mile walk in the morning, like out in nature. It's so grounding and so peaceful and so good just for my body. Like walking is such underrated cardio, I gotta tell you. And it's like easy on your joints as opposed to like running or something, intense on your knees and your hips and your everything. And then I have been open to information coming my way, like a chiropractor that I follow, he had this video that was like, from excessive sitting, which our lives really are, like me driving or sitting for a session of neurofeedback, a lot of sitting, right, in our day-to-day. So between excessive sitting and stress, which, yes, that is something we all deal with, this particular area of like muscle groups get really tight. And when your body is feeling that stress, it is then telling your brain and your nervous system, oh, the body is tense, there's probably a threat. And then it like puts you into that sympathetic fight or flight, right? And so it's either brain telling body or body telling brain. And so I realized, okay, well, brain telling body is what I'm doing with all my therapies, right? And now body telling brain. Every day I've been doing, the chiropractor I go see recommended that I roll up a towel really tight to where it's like feels like kind of like the width of like a hard soda can, or the circumference, and then you lay on it. And so it's under your neck and your head is on the ground, your back's on the ground for 10 minutes. That's been really helpful for me. But also this chiropractor I follow online, there was a video where it was about doing some stress reduction on the sternocleidomastoid, this front part of your neck, these scalenes down the side of your neck, upper traps, which are definitely have been very tight on me in the past. But like doing this trigger point work on these spots that are so commonly big issue points for people, including me, like everything he talked about, like the back, the base of your skull, I can't remember what he called those muscles, but like the base of your skull, these areas all around that people have that are chronically tight, that then cause like tension headaches and lots of other issues. So there's like, it's a 6-minute video of like doing some pressure point work and releasing just self-myofascial release issues or stuff right there, just with your hands, like at home or at your desk or something. I've been doing that daily. So for me, what I'm most proud of and I feel really good about is that I'm cumulatively giving myself the habitual nature of doing these things and leaning into it and letting it help me. I'm showing that it's working. I'm showing in neurofeedback my brain has learned and it's holding on to it, and that the things I'm doing are working. And I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so happy to be seeing progress, honestly, and feeling progress. Like I feel it. My next session next week will be going back to the eyes closed portion of it, to where I have the headphones and I'm listening to the sounds, and the 30 minutes is with my eyes closed, finding that sense of calm.